It was the kind of chill that seeps through your coat and settles deep in your bones. Winter in Michigan was always unforgiving, but that night felt especially brutal. Sarah Monroe had just finished tucking her 8-year-old daughter, Lily, into bed, the hem of the space heater their only comfort against the howling wind outside. Her husband, Jake, was late again, stuck working overtime at the auto plant. Their house, McCreaky, filled with memories and second-hand furniture, had recently welcomed a new member. Max, a rescued German shepherd, had been with them just over a month. Found emaciated and scared behind an abandoned warehouse, Max had flinched at every movement when the shelter took him in. It was Sarah's idea to adopt him. She believed everyone, even broken things, deserved a second chance. Max had grown attached to Lily first. He slept at the foot of her bed, followed her from room to room, and whined outside the bathroom door if she was in there too long. It was as if he had chosen her, not the other way around. Something in her softness, her gentleness, cracked the walls he'd built around himself. That night, Max had been unusually restless. He kept pacing the hallway, ears twitching at the smallest creak. Sarah noticed him sniffing the front door, growling low in his throat. She chalked it up to the wind. At 10:43 p.m. Sarah heard the noise. A subtle thump at the back door, then the unmistakable click of the handle being tested. Her heart slammed in her chest. She froze. Max stood rigid, body tense, hackles raised. Another click. The door didn't open, but someone was trying. She reached for her phone but realized it was on the charger in the kitchen. A mistake. A small, careless thing that now seemed colossal. Max snarled, a sound Sarah had never heard from before. Then the sound of breaking glass from the kitchen, the back window. Whoever it was had found a way in. Without hesitation, Max bolted down the hallway and into the dark kitchen. There was a crash, a grunt, and the sound of something heavy falling. Sarah grabbed the fireplace poker and inched forward, her breath shallow. When she peeked into the kitchen, the sight froze her blood. A man, burly, masked, gloved, was pinned against the kitchen cabinets. Max's teeth sunk into his forearm. The intruder tried to shake him off, slamming Max into the counter, but the dog held firm, eyes blazing, a low, guttural growl rising from deep in his chest. Sarah screamed for help, then ran to Lee's room, locking the door behind her. She called 911 with trembling fingers, whispering the details while Lily clutched her tightly, tears streaking her cheeks. The police arrived 8 minutes later. It felt like hours. They found Max still holding the man at bay, the intruder bleeding, and begged him to get the dog off him. Officers pried Max away gently, praising him as they arrested the man. He'd been wanted for a string of home invasions across the county, always breaking in while families slept. Max had stopped him. The officers said if Max hadn't intervened, it could have gone very differently. The adrenaline wore off slowly. Sarah wept on the couch, clutching Max's fur, whispering, "Thank you," again and again. Max, panting, bleeding slightly from a cut on his ear, just leaned into her, tail wagging softly. The story made the rounds quickly. Local news picked it up, then national outlets. "Rescuedog rescues family." The headlines read. Pictures of Max with Lily, nose to her cheek, flooded social media. Offers of treats, toys, and even free training poured in. But Max didn't care about any of that. He only wanted to be near his family. Over the next few weeks, Sarah noticed something change in Max. He no longer flinched at loud noises. He stopped pacing at night. He slept more soundly. It was as though, in protecting them, he had finally allowed himself to believe he belonged. One afternoon, Lily was drawing pictures at the kitchen table. She handed Sarah a crayon sketch of a house, a little girl, and a dog with a cape. She had written, "My R.O. Max," in block letters at the top. Sarah smiled through tears. The shelter director visited him a month later. She brought a framed certificate that read, "Honorary Canine Max Monroe." She said they'd never seen a transformation like his, and that his story was giving hope to adopters everywhere. But Sarah didn't need a certificate to know what Max was. He wasn't just a rescue dog. He was family. And that night, when darkness tried to steal what mattered most, it wasn't just bravery that saved him. It was love. The kind that comes quietly, fiercely, and without condition.